Okay, this is number 8, podcast number 8, and it's about commitment. My perspective on commitment is it's not normal, but it's true to me. And so all I'm sharing is my perspective on commitment. So just like everything in nature, it has a positive and negative aspect. It has a light and a shadow aspect. Even the emotion of mercy contains within it the power to destroy the source of suffering, and that in fact to annihilate it. And it's the same with commitment. All that matters is what you are committed to. Are you committed to yourself? Are you committed to someone else? Because the reality is, if you want to remain committed to yourself, it is impossible for you to commit to someone else. Because your nature is arising in each moment. You're evolving, you're adapting, you're becoming more and more of what you have the potential to become in every single moment as you're realizing the desires that you've held. You're becoming more. Your conscious awareness is becoming more, which means you're unlocking emotions that you've never felt before. You're having experiences that you've never experienced before. And so how can you predict what's going to be true for you in the future? Because to be committed to yourself means that you're committed to following your own nature. And by being committed to your own nature, that means that no matter how that evolves and expands, that you're going to follow it. You may wake up one morning and receive a vision for some extraordinary experience you want to have. It excites you, it invigorates you, you sit with it, and you go into it. You imagine what it's going to be like to experience that, to become that. It means I'll be able to do this, and then that means that this, and all of a sudden you find yourself totally immersed in creating it. Now, what happens if you have a verbal commitment to another human being? You've committed to them that you'll stand by their side no matter what. You've committed to them that you're going to meet some unmet need that they have. And so if you were to follow your own nature, you'd be breaking that commitment to the other person. What if you've committed yourself to a project? And what if something happens, like receiving this vision for a new even higher potential of what you can become, and you realize that what you were committed to before no longer feels fulfilling? What then? Do you remain committed to that old project just because you said that you would? Or do you follow nature? Do you adapt? Do you evolve? Do you move towards the highest possible state you have available for you to become, that you're aware of now? Because it will always evolve. That vision will always shift, evolve, and change based on your state of conscious awareness. As you reconcile conflicted parts within you to create harmony, your vision changes, it evolves, it adapts. You realize an even higher potential you have to become even more of what you already are. I am this, I am that. I can be this. So who are you committed to? Who are you committed to? Yourself? Or the people around you that you've made verbal bonds to? Or some project that you've said in your own mind you're committed to, in truth, because you're afraid you'll abandon it. That's the only real reason someone is seeking commitment from you. And it's the only real reason you feel the need to express it yourself to a project or to another human being. It's a fear of being abandoned. So the nature of commitment, most of the time, is to prevent being abandoned. If someone commits to us, then that fear we have that they'll abandon us, it feels less imposing. Kind of negates it slightly. We get a sense of relief. Oh, that person has promised themselves to me. So I feel a bit more safe and secure in that. Not really realizing that in order for that person to commit to us, no matter what, through thick and thin, richer or poorer, better for worse, sickness and health, no matter what, I'm committed to you. Okay, well, you have the right to do that. But understand that may at some point go against your nature to remain committed. As your nature unfolds, as you expand and you realize higher and higher potentials of what it is you can become, are you going to let that commitment get in the way of you evolving? It's a choice. And so, my perspective on this is a challenge in my own life, especially for people who are seeking a commitment. They want you to commit to them. They want you to stay bonded to them. You're providing something for them that they absolutely love, but they don't trust themselves enough to continue experiencing even more of what it is they think you're giving them. Because the truth is, they have become that. If that doesn't make any sense to you, you might want to listen to my podcast called The Meaning of I Am, number 007. They have evolved into a state where they are experiencing a reality within which you are providing something for them. They're actively having that experience, but they don't trust themselves enough to continue elevating their own position, to continue evolving their own state to a point where if that bond was broken, if what you were providing them before all of a sudden disappears, the sense of being abandoned, the sense of loss, the sense of having lost something really stems from a belief that they may not be able to replace that thing or evolve into an even higher state from that point. Because the truth is, in nature, the way evolution works, and this happens at an atomic level and at a biological level, is that when a bond becomes weak, when it becomes weakened, it's so that it can change state. So in order to follow your nature, you have to allow yourself to change state. That's what transformation is. I'm changing my form. And so if you go against your nature, you try to get someone to commit, to hold on to a bond through their word, what you're really asking them to do is to, at some point in the future, potentially go against their own nature. And so this is my perspective on commitment. And yes, I do believe this in terms of marriage as well. I see marriage as an expression of the mind and the spirit, and that expression is meaning. Meaning is all that matters. What does it mean to you to be with this person now? It means that I feel safe. It means that I feel contained. It means that I feel seen. It means that I can bear my soul. It means, what does it mean to be with that person? And just realize that you are that. That person is part of your experience of what you are and who you are. It's a reflection of what you have become. They're not actually giving you anything. And this is the key. This is the key to living a life where you've released the shackles of codependency. You understand that everything is just an experience of what you are and what you're becoming, and that the people around you are a part of that. So even when you lose them, you know that that bond has been broken so that you can realize even higher and higher potentials of who and what you are. It means you're becoming more. There are only two states of transformation, really. None of them are static. When something is in the process of changing state, it is either disintegrating or reintegrating. And the truth is that evolution is a state of disintegration. To be integrated means that there's just one thing. But in truth, the way that evolution works is we are disintegrating from the whole so that we can discover higher and higher potentials of who and what we are and what we can become. It's a disintegration of radioactive energy. A photon, it's radiation. Matter is disintegration of that photonic light. The photon contains all the frequencies of light, and matter is a disintegration of all of those frequencies into a narrow band of those frequencies. And so I don't want to actually go into that right now. That'll be a topic for another podcast, but commitment. Understand what it means to be committed. If you're committed to following your own nature, you will thrive. But in order to live like this, it's challenging for the people around you to understand it, because most people are fear of being abandoned. Most people are afraid of being abandoned. And a commitment will help them to feel more at ease. But true freedom can only come from self-commitment. And that is a commitment to yourself and following your own nature, regardless of whether it pleases anyone else. So if, from my perspective, the ideal way to bring understanding to the people around you, if you make a decision to be purely committed to yourself, is you just have to be honest with them. You have to help them understand your perspective. And when you really live from this perspective, it can be really challenging, because you actually won't feel a sense of loss when the bond begins to weaken. You'll feel a sense of invigoration and expansion and transcendence. And so it can be quite offensive to the people around you that you're not hurt. And I've struggled with this myself for a long time. When you've freed yourself from codependent relationships, it's hard for other people to understand why you don't feel hurt in their absence. And it's because you know that they are part of you, and it comes from a state of feeling that way. That's what it feels like. You get used to their feeling, you know what they feel like, and you realize that if they come into your mind, you can go into that state and feel them there with you as a part of you. So yeah, that's my perspective on commitment. I totally understand that it may not be yours, and I'm truly not seeking to debase the value of marriage or committed relationships or anything like that. Although at heart I am, it's so hard to label this in human terms because the nature of this is so pure. But my true nature is to be polyamorous, and what I mean, I don't mean in a sexual way, I mean in a way where you allow your nature to determine how you express yourself. And so if you feel the sensation of intimacy arising within you because of a connection that you have with someone, you express it. But it's all about who you're choosing to be and what you're choosing to become in each moment. And so if you're connected with someone and you feel intimacy arise, you express it. You never hold back your nature. And commitment, especially romantic commitment, has the potential to prevent you from, being intimate with more than one person, potentially. And for me, that's, there's just no question that for me, it's not something I will ever be interested in. So I understand that this is a challenging perspective. I totally get it. And all I can say is that whatever you're doing and choosing right now is perfect for you. And what I'm choosing is perfect for me. And that's the beauty of being unique, that we get to follow our own nature. And my nature is not yours. Yours is not mine. And all of it is valid. Okay, that's all for now. Catch you soon.